Hey everyone, Jessiana Seville here from the Kidney RD. I want to come in here today. Hold a second. Okay, sorry, gotta restart. I had the wrong title on the video. I had an old title. Anyways, I want to come in here today and talk about a really practical, simple tip that you can use and that is accessible probably to almost everyone to totally up level your cooking or just the food that you eat so that cutting back on salt doesn't seem so extreme or so much. And how you can make this last for a long time. So when I go to the grocery store, there are three things that I buy, if not every week, every other week, and I use them on a regular basis. They each cost about $1 each, so that's not a lot, and they add so much punch and flavor to my food. So I'm going to show you here. Let's see if I can get this up to the right spot. Okay, so I got to take this one out. I actually also have an herb garden, so I clipped these because I wanted to show you. So the first thing is parsley, right? Parsley costs $1. You can buy a big bag of it. It costs $1. What are you going to use parsley in? If you're doing any sort of a Italian, an Italian dish, it works really good. You can put it on the side with anything. There's a ton of benefits. If you're making soups, parsley goes really good in soups. Most herbs you always want to add to the end of your cooking, but parsley is really good. There's actually a lot of nutritional benefits to parsley as well. We traditionally interact with parsley because it's put as a garnish on our plate at restaurants. We're supposed to chew afterwards to freshen our breath, but man, it tastes so good in like a bean and noodle soup, or I like to put it in my sauces that we're doing on pasta. But parsley costs you $1, and that's one thing you can do. The other thing that I really like to buy are scallions or green onions. I use these in a lot of different places. They don't make my eyes hurt when I cut them like regular onions, but I'll slice them up and put them fresh on tacos. I'll put them in Asian dishes. If we're just, making a simple like rice and beans dish, they go really good as well. This one's dripping on me because I just took it out of the water, and I'm going to show you the water in a second. But scallions also, they cost $1, and you can chop them up real quick and put them on anything for a big punch if you like onions. The other thing, and this came from my fresh plant, so it's not as big as in the store, but is cilantro. Not everyone loves cilantro, but some people love it. When my husband lived in New Mexico, one of his families that he was good friends with, they used to take salsa and just jarred salsa from the store, and then they put fresh cilantro in it, and it made it taste like homemade salsa. But cilantro goes great, and also, anything green has so many health benefits, but it has a ton of health benefits. So if you're cooking if you have any sort of like Mexican type cooking, cilantro obviously is really, really good. Some people like to put it in their salads, and it tastes really nice that way. If you're making a guacamole, if you don't have potassium restrictions, a guacamole, you can chop it up and put it in guacamole as well. Guacamole is just so easy, really good, healthy fat source, avocados, lime, a touch of garlic and cumin, and cilantro. So we use a lot of cilantro at our house. My measly little plant that I have outside is actually not enough, but I just used up the rest of it, so I had to use this. So you buy these herbs, and if you just let them perish in your crisper drawer, then what's going to happen is you'll get like one good use out of them, and then they'll be wimpy and limp, and no one wants to use them anymore. So one of the tricks of the trade is to treat them like you would fresh cut flowers. So get a jar. This one's a little bit too big, but if you can get a small mouth jar, or if you have a lot of herbs, it doesn't matter. But get a jar, put a little bit of water in it, and then just like fresh cut flowers, if you'll just clip the ends of your herbs or even your onions and put them in there. I had some dill from outside, but I needed something a little bit bushier to show you guys. But if you'll put them in your jar and set this in the fridge, they will stay really crisp and green and beautiful for 2 weeks or more. And I'll just actually take them out of there and chop them up and use them. And so my $1 that I've spent on cilantro or parsley ends up stretching really far for a lot of flavor. So if you don't have the means to have a fresh herb garden, just those $3 that you spend, green onions or scallions, parsley, and cilantro can really up level your food flavor quite a bit, and you get a ton of nutrition benefits as well from adding that little bit of extra green. Anyways, I hope that's helpful. For you, just a practical tip, having a diet with some limitations or some changes doesn't have to be disgusting. It doesn't have to be a terrible experience. Food should be something that we enjoy. And I know at the Kidney RD, as we're working with clients, one thing that we want to do is not just give them really great information and a fantastic plan to follow to achieve their health goals or kidney health goals, but we also want to make sure it's doable. And we call it livable, right? It's livable and lovable, that they can enjoy their foods and they find ways to incorporate the emotional and the social part of food into their life while still achieving outcomes. We're real serious about getting great outcomes, but the best outcomes are the ones that you can maintain long term, and we have that vision always in our mind. Anyways, if you want to learn more, go to kidneyrd.com, but I hope those are a few tips that you can use throughout your next week and maybe your whole life to make your cooking better than ever. All right.